Becoming Your True Higher Self by Sanaya Roman. Spiritual growth. Welcome, guys, to True Higher Self channel. Today, we're going to jump into the meat of what we've established this channel on, and that is becoming our true higher self. So first, let's talk about what does that term actually mean, true higher self. Well, your higher self is the idea that you are connected to an all-pervasive presence, an entity that is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient, everywhere, all the time, at the same time, and an ability to accomplish and complete anything. You're tapped into limitless resources. You are part of the universal source of all things, this substance that everything has come from. So biblically, there are scriptures that talk about we live and move and have our being in Him. Everything that is was made by Him and through Him and is Him, and these sorts of things. So there's one ever-pervasive presence. So the question should be, how do we connect with that presence if it is limited in terms of its resources, be it financial, creative, and otherwise? To be able to connect with that source is going to give us the best opportunity to have the most productive life cycle. And so that's really what we want to talk about today. I began this journey some years ago, and understanding what that meant was paramount because everything is built on that particular foundation. So let's get into today in terms of what our goals are. So our goal for today is we want to transform our lives, transform your life by becoming your higher self. Your life can be transformed by becoming your higher self. Here are three things that I would guess most adults would be concerned about and want to add value or change, revise, improve in order to feel like they are having their best life cycle. And they're these. Number one, most of us want to improve the way we feel about ourselves, self-worth. Whether it is the types of careers we find ourselves pigeonholed in, whether it is our physical body that maybe we are not the most proud of, whatever it is, we want to have a better sense of worth. And number two, future events. This one's probably the most obvious. If you have but to talk to a few people to hear that within their verbiage, there's always a reference to what may happen about a particular thing, whether it is politics in some election, whether it currently, for example, is a pandemic and a virus, whether it is finances and saving for the future or for college or a baby that is coming, or we prepare. Most of the times we spend so much energy vacillating around things that have not occurred, future events. And then lastly, security and independence. Well, financial security may be at the top, or maybe I should have started there. It's just at the top of everyone's list, that they always want to feel secure in their local communities and in this society. And we've been taught that, finances obviously is one of the ways to do that. Well, we're going to discuss that in a little bit more detail. We feel like having finances, being financially independent, will give us a level of freedom that we may not currently be enjoying. So these are some areas where connecting to your higher self will help you achieve the type of understanding in these areas that will absorb or just omit the fear factor. Because there's fear involved in all of this. You don't feel worthy. You're afraid of future events. And then, of course, if you feel insecure or you feel a slave to your job or to, the society where you live. So let's jump into it. Now, as you grow spiritually, you are on a wonderful journey of self-discovery. You'll increasingly understand the mysteries of the universe and learn tools of personal transformation. And as you go higher, you can live a life that's more effortless. Everything you need will come to you as you need it, and your creative endeavors will bring you results beyond anything you can imagine. That's the most beneficial of being connected to your higher self. an effortless existence. Spiritual growth, as it will be described here, means growing through connecting with your higher self into a higher power. The God or goddess within you or without, Christ, Allah, Buddha, the all that is, however you connect to your higher source. This connection will bring you aliveness, a healthy body, loving friends, a supportive environment, and the opportunity to make a difference in the world, which really is what we all want, whether we know it or not. The life we live is very little of it is about us. It's more about what we're able to do for others, which once we connect with our higher selves, we'll realize the true essence of the self, which is the other. We're all connected. Spiritual growth gives you the tools to make your everyday life work and bring increasingly higher levels of order, harmony, clarity, and love into every area of your spiritual life. Spiritual growth is the single most important thing you can focus on if you want a joyful, peaceful, and loving life. Now, the spiritual path can be one of immense play and deep inner joy. Deep inner joy. Just consider that. Consider the fact that you can conceive an achievement, a desired result, perhaps helping your neighbor or a loved one, and achieve that, and how it would make you feel. We're going to get a little bit more into that later. Now, as you grow spiritually, you will be able to see the bigger picture of your life. As you link your will with the higher will, you will gain more awareness of the path of humanity's evolution and your part in it. You'll discover your life's work and gain the tools to carry it out. As you open to the higher dimensions of yourself, you'll be able to lift the veils of illusion and see the world through the eyes of the higher self. You'll link your throat with your higher self and express the truth and love in all you say. Your mind will be illuminated and your emotions will be harmonious as they blended with the light of your higher self. Now, this I can speak personally to. Well, all of it, actually, I can, but this is really close to me because I've seen a transformation in myself in the last, I think I read this book maybe about 8 to 10 years ago. And I immediately began to practice these meditations and these different techniques in terms of, sending light, seeing myself as my higher self, understanding the higher will, and these sorts of things we're going to get more into. But what I want to say here is this. There's a very powerful and empowering idea of being in control of yourself and not feeling fear. Being in control and not feeling fear, understanding that you're connected to this omnipotent presence, and there's really no need for fear. What many of you are looking for in another, compassion, understanding, and loving, you'll find first in connecting with your higher self. Your higher self loves you unconditionally. Now, as you grow, you'll know how to send light to strengthen and empower yourself and your friends. You'll trust your ability to sense energy so much you will feel safe wherever you are. That's what I was just talking about. When you really connect with your higher self and you understand who you are and really trust that connectivity, then the fear begins to dissipate. You'll easily harmonize with the energies of all kinds of people. You'll learn how to become transparent or even transmute negative energy. Now, that part is very important too, because we're going to still be living in the world. It is very possible, though, to be in the world and not of the world. So we've got to learn how to transmute negative energy. There are folks that will be around us that will not understand conceptually who and what we are, particularly our life strategy now. And they will have a negative overtone. They will be pessimistic. Maybe they sit and watch the news all day. Maybe they're, Debbie Downers, and that's their thing. But we've got to figure out a way to coexist and still maintain our higher vibrations. Your fears may not be totally gone, but when a fear comes up, you won't react with even more fear. Instead, you'll talk to the fear, send it love, and ask for the messages that it contains. You will notice immediately when you are not in a high state, and you'll be able to get rapidly back to a balanced, centered, and calm state. Spiritual growth is similar to personal growth, with one big difference. When you grow spiritually, you're connecting with the higher power and using that connection to empower your own growth. Your own growth. This higher power, your higher self, and God, all there is, works with your personality. assisting it to develop self-confidence, self-love, clarity, and other important qualities. And again, let's go back to our list, the things that we thought we would be concerned about: our self-worth, future events, financial security, and independence. These are all things that we can really achieve through identifying and connecting with our higher selves. Now, there's no limit to the growth and expansion that is possible for you. That's an exciting thought. There's no limit to the growth and the expansion for you. Enlightenment is being very skilled at holding and radiating light. Enlightenment is not a place you reach where you stop growing and are perfect. No matter how high you go, there are higher and higher levels you can reach. Being enlightened means that you have tools and resources to handle all the energies about you in such a way that add clarity, harmony, and light to everything around you. So in other words, we're not going to be warring against things that are within our community, within our homes, but even in our mental, within our minds. But we begin to accept these things and we begin to ask questions of why they exist. What is it that they are here to teach me? And we begin to transmute them and transform them into the types of energies and end results, manifestations that we like for them to be. There are many paths to enlightenment. Choose the path that's most joyful to you and in alignment with your values. You may choose one path at one time and another path at another time. You may try several paths at the same time. Go toward those disciplines you are drawn to. Don't feel you must pursue something that doesn't appeal to you just because others say it's the right thing for you and a way to grow. Each of us are unique. Trust your higher self to lead you to those processes that are most appropriate for you. One of the first things you can do to grow spiritually is to let go of any preconceived ideas that you may already have about spiritual growth and your current level of evolution. If I am a psychologist and someone comes to me and they are convinced that I cannot help them, that more so than the actual problem will be the obstacle that will beset that particular person. You must have a fundamental belief that something can work. I don't care if it is going to a psychiatrist or if it is launching out into a entrepreneurship. You must believe that this will work. You must believe that you will be successful. Otherwise, why are you doing it? Secondly, and probably most importantly, is the power of your belief supersedes everything. It supersedes everything. We are very strong vibrations in terms of our thought, and your thought really matters. What you think, you become. This has been said a number of ways throughout time in terms of our strong ability to create our external environment. Many people don't understand that is what's taking place on a day-to-day basis. They are thinking thoughts, speaking words, and then they are doing actions. And all of those create your external environment. But it all starts with your thoughts. So the question is, what are you thinking? And we want to create what Charles Snell in the Master Key System has said is a positive and habitual thought pattern. A positive habitual thought pattern, because that will produce the desired results, not the negativity. Spiritual growth is a process of becoming your higher self. Your higher self is a dynamic, growing life force consciousness. It exists in a realm where all beings are united as one multidimensional consciousness. Your everyday consciousness is an aspect of your higher self that lives in your physical reality. Your higher self knows why you have challenges that you have. It is the wise teacher that exists within you. So consider yourself partnering with this entity, your higher self, your being, and just kind of doing this life thing together, realizing that your partner is ever pervasive, all knowing. So when challenges come, opportunities come, then you have a resource here to be able to get through this particular challenge and actually not repeat it, because you're going to learn from it. Your higher self knows no limits and is not attached to any role you play. It can heal and evolve you as you bring its high, fine vibration into your body and all your energy systems. Your higher self usually talks to you through intuition and feelings. It's usually, really small things, that small voice we always talk about. That's your higher self. As you strengthen your connection to your higher self, you'll experience increasing insights, revelation, expanded awareness. All these are somewhat products of being connected to your higher self. You can be your higher self at any moment, at every moment. Your higher self is your expanded, loving, wise, and compassionate self. You are your higher self as you work with light, shift consciousness in others, or focus on how you can serve and make a difference in the world. And that's really where our true value lies, is to the thing that we have, the thing that we do, that no one else can do like us, that we have passion about, that we can bring not for our own self-aggrandizement, but for the benefit of others, who we'll find eventually is us also. Spiritual growth comes from increasing contact with your higher self, allowing it to become the director of every part of your life. Once you begin a path of spiritual growth, seeking, learning, exploring the greater being that you are, and uncovering the mysteries of the universe, you will never be the same. So again, we want to transform our lives by connecting to our higher selves, becoming our true higher self. So there's a meditation, a separate video that I want you to go to now. And what we're going to do is walk through this particular meditation, and it teaches you how to connect with your true higher self. And again, I think the value here for all listeners is that it is going to really allow us to connect with the higher levels of ourselves that really already exist. We're just not connected to it. Why? Because we want to have more productive lives. We want to be able to manifest the things that we desire. We want to be able to help others. We want to be able to create a life plan that is going to make a change in the world we live, a positive change. So guys, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. I hope this has been beneficial, have been helpful. Again, we're going to continue to go through spiritual growth and talk about our higher self, using light and a lot of different meditation techniques that are really going to be transformational to your life. So continue to check back with us. Check the descriptions below. We always have free giveaways. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because when we have a new video comes out, you want to be the first to come and check it out. So listen, connect with your higher self, listen to the meditation that follows, and let's have a productive day, a productive week, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.